Hi, I'm Wallissimo, and I am currently writing a story entitled This Book is for October, which, if you don't know by now, is my attempt at a Hallmark Christmas movie, but for Halloween, and not a movie, a book. And of course, since it's for Halloween, it's full of witches and magic. And of course, I have set this story in Massachusetts. Specifically, I set it in Ipswich, Massachusetts, because I didn't want to be so basic as to set it in Salem. But basically, the Ipswich in my story is very much an imagined version of Salem. And as luck would have it, I just happened to be in Salem, Massachusetts this week. We're calling it a research trip. It's not. We came because we love Halloween and we wanted to celebrate and be super extra about it. But calling it a research trip kind of validates it a little bit, so it's a research trip. The first few days on this trip we actually spent with family who live in the area, and then yesterday was kind of our first full day all on our own. We actually ended up spending the morning out in Ipswich, Massachusetts, because that is the town where This Book is for October is set. And we figured while we were here, we might as well go check it out since we were so close. And as it so happens, my protagonist, Kate, grew up in her mother's mansion/manor house estate, and I had based it off of a manor I had spent a single evening in 20 years ago at my cousin's wedding. And as I've been writing This Book was for October, that is the house I have had in mind the entire time, but without actually knowing the name or location of this place, because that wedding was 20 years ago and I was 7. But funnily enough, as it just so happens, that house, that manor, that estate is in fact in Ipswich, Massachusetts. So yesterday morning we set off and drove to Ipswich to explore the Crane estate on Castle Hill. This is actually a pretty well-known house, which makes me a little bit embarrassed that I had never been able to find it in all these years that I have memories of being there. And it's used as a filming location fairly often. It was used in Witches of Eastwick. It's in that one Matthew McConaughey movie where he dates a lot of women and has to feel guilty about it.
I'm gonna take you back through all your past girlfriends.
We dated for 2 days.
For an hour. For 48 seconds.
And as I said before, it is where I set a good chunk of This Book is for October.
I am so glad we decided to make the trek up here, because even though I have very clear memories of this beautiful estate and it's completely what Kate's mother's house was based on, I did not know that there was this view of the sea all the way out there. And now in my round of edits, I can go back in and have that be in there, which I think is so great. Also, that totally explains why Kate's oldest sister, Cassandra, would grow up to be a sea witch, because she grew up with this gorgeous view of the sea right outside her childhood bedroom. Totally makes sense.
So we ended up doing a house tour so I could see the rest of the manor and get an idea of what its footprint was. And actually that was one of the best house tours I have ever been on. The docent dressed up as a lady's maid from 1929 and gave us each these identifier cards of who our characters were. It was like a combined house tour and live roleplay session. It was awesome. I played a divorcee designer from California, life goals, and we were all pretending that we were guests at the house, being shown around by the lady's maid before our hostess could come join us. It was such an engaging tour that really went into the lives of the people who lived there and kind of their family dynamic, that for a big chunk of it I forgot to be kind of contextualizing it into This Book is for October, and I really just kind of got lost in the story of this family. So I'm very glad that they let me take video footage, because now I have references to go back and look at when I'm incorporating the house into the story.
So we just finished the house tour, and it was without a doubt one of the best tours of a house I have ever experienced. Again, I just can't reiterate how glad I am that we came and did this, because I am about to write multiple chapters that take place quite a bit at Kate's house, at Kate's mother's house. Now I just have this very vibrant and oh, look at that tree. Look at those leaves. Anyway, sorry, those are pretty. I'm just really excited to write those chapters now because the house feels very alive to me, whereas before in previous chapters, you know, I'm not really great with 3D spaces, and so I didn't really have a template, and I was really going off of a really old memory from like 20 years ago. And I just feel like I have so much more reference for what I'm writing now. So I'm really excited. I'm very inspired. I almost kind of want to get back to the hotel and start writing immediately. But we've got a lot more we're doing today. So I'm just gonna soak it all in and recognize that everything else that we're doing today can also feed this story. So I'm very excited.
Once we were done at the Crane Estate, we drove through the main area of Ipswich just to see what it looked like, get some comparisons, get some footage for me to be able to reference later, and then we made our way back to Salem. To several kind of fun kitschy attractions, like someone's private collection of wax figures of monsters from monster movies. No footage was allowed in there, but let me just say that the statue wax figure of Pennywise was so unsettling that I refused to turn my back to it while I was in the museum, and I walked out of the room that that figure was in backwards because I was convinced that if I turned my back to it, I would be killed, basically. And then we also went to the Halloween Museum, which was super cute and fun. It had all sorts of things about the history of Halloween. It had a lot of props from Halloween movie sets and just lots of fun general facts about Halloween, like the top costumes from the decades of the past 100 years and stuff like that. It was cool. Then we just did some window shopping and actual shopping and ended up having dinner at a really amazing restaurant where I had a pumpkin spice mousse for dessert, and it was literally in the shape of a pumpkin. It was incredible. So that was the day yesterday, and we are scheduled to have an even crazier day today, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, despite all the incredible research and inspiration I have gathered during this trip, the one thing I haven't done is write. I truly cannot express how there has not been time. We've left our hotel room at 8 in the morning and we're out basically until 10 at night. And by the time we get back, we've been walking all day and we're tired, and I just don't have it in me to write. But here's the thing. I only have to get about 600 more words before I hit 50,000 words, and this book is for October. Now, I initially thought I hit 50,000 words last Saturday, and I had kind of a mini celebration for myself in that moment, but then I realized that it was because I had about 3,000 words of just brain dump at the end of the document, and it wasn't actually part of the real story, so I'm not counting that as hitting 50k. But I moved that whole brain dump section to a different part of my Scrivener file, and now I am about just 600 words away from hitting 50,000, and I would love to hit 50,000 while on this trip. I don't know why, that just feels satisfying to me, so I'm gonna try and do that. There's a cat. There's a cat. Do you see the kitty? Hi. Oh my goodness. I just opened up my camera to vlog, and that just happened just as I started filming. Anyway, so we've had a little bit of change in the plans. My sister unfortunately started feeling quite unwell, and so we have come back to our hotel area, which is just outside of Salem, and we probably won't be going back into Salem at all today. And today was going to be our last day, which means kind of haunted happenings is over for us. Currently, my sister is back at the hotel resting, and I'm very awkward filming in public and I hate it, but I'm also going to get a little bite to eat. Really, I just need an excuse to get out of the room so that my sister
could rest and I wasn't going to bother her with, you know, just general noise. So I'm gonna go find a little cafe or a coffee shop or something to go eat and maybe read or write or anything in between. Just hit 50,000 words in the story. I know I haven't really updated where I am in the story. The truth is I've been vlogging a ton, but I just have not had time to string together any sort of coherent vlog. And at this point, I almost feel like it's a little too late to, you know, include some of the clips that like I filmed all the way back in September. You look back on my video where I broke down the plot. Basically, where I am in the story is it's the day before Halloween. So I've actually gotten through quite a bit since I last officially updated the vlog. Like, I think the last time I checked in, I was just about to start the almost kiss chapter. I'm sorry. Wait, ignore everything I just said. Are these phallic? Are these phallic? Wait, hold on. Like, I don't want to say anything, but I'm not making that up, right? Like, I'm sorry. Come on. There's no way. I'm not making that up. Am I being dirty-minded? So I've been sitting next to that vase for an hour and didn't even notice that. This is not a very Salem or spooky or hocus pocusy ending to a vlog, but I think I am gonna end it here. I'm going to celebrate that I hit 50,000. I'm going to try and get more done just because I am behind schedule still. But I am going on yet another trip next week, and hopefully I'll be vlogging that as well. But that trip specifically is meant to facilitate finishing this book, and not just finishing the draft, but like editing, getting the cover designed and chosen and all that jazz. So I will also be vlogging that and should be theoretically checking in before, you know, but we'll see. Until then, go be happy, go be healthy, and go write. Bye.